It's that special time of year when a multi-ton hunk of steel of love comes out for display. It's a steel of love?
Hunk of steel and love.
Steel and love. Okay.
Dina is live this morning at the State Railroad Museum explaining all of this for us. Hey, Dina.
I don't know. I kind of want to see how you guys talk yourselves out of that one. Yeah, good morning to you. And let's talk about that hunk, because it's my favorite hunk here at the California State Railroad Museum. It is, my friends, the historic Rotary Snowplow, and it is here on display. This thing is massive. I'm like 6'5", right? And like, look at how big that thing is. I'm just kidding. I'm 5'0". Yeah, laugh harder. Yeah. Laugh harder. Yes, but you can see behind me, this thing is impressive, and it is a workhorse. At least it was when it was in service. We have Debbie Hollingsworth with us this morning. Hello. Okay, so right now the snowplow is back on display. I love showing this thing off personally, but I know a lot of those fans here of the museum like to see it too. Tell me the history behind this incredible machine.
Sure. Well, we're always excited to bring it back into the museum too. We bring it back in during the winter. It was actually built, this one was built in 1920, and it was converted to electric in 1958 and retired in 2008.
I mean, that is a long lifespan. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the need for this. We talk about the snow in the Sierra. Many of us know it as Sierra cement because it's so heavy, and that posed a real threat and a real problem for the trains trying to pass over the Sierra.
Yeah. Especially when you figure dating back to when the Transcontinental Railroad was completed, right, in the 1860s, and how much snow there was. There were snow sheds that protected against the snow. And then there was still so much snow that it took a lot of people shoveling, which is always the best way, I guess, to resort to. And then engines similar to the one we have here with great big snow plows to try and push that snow out of the way. And it still didn't work on the kind of snow they get in the Donner. So developing this with the rotary blades that push that snow hundreds of feet away from the track was the best way to deal with that.
Yeah, and so we want to show you real quickly, Scott, if you can. This was something similar to what they would have used before the rotary snowplow. They would have just put a plow in front, and you said it would have taken several trains.
Several of them, maybe even up to a dozen. And that plow would have been just almost as big as the locomotive itself.
Okay, so they realized that's just not going to be efficient enough.
It didn't because of that Sierra cement that you're talking about. It's really hard to push that snow out of the way when it's packing up against, and it doesn't move.
Exactly, and we know how important the rail system has been, especially for getting produce and people across the Sierra. So this was such an important piece of our California history, the Sierra as well, and the Transcontinental Railroad. So what do we have now? Because obviously this is still needed up in the Sierra.
And that's a question that we get all the time is what do we use now? Well, the technology is such that they can keep up with the snow better than they could before. So they have, these are new words for everybody, but one is a flanger. So a flanger will take the ice off of the tracks. And then there are spreaders. It's a Jordan spreader, and it has these great big wings that come out, and it spreads the, spreads the snow away from the tracks. There are plows, front end trucks that can pick up the snow. So there are a lot of ways to keep up with the snow, unless it's a really, really big storm, like sometimes we get here, that they have to call out the rotaries.
All right, so coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, there is so much more history. Of course, we're at the California State Railroad Museum, so always such a fun place to take the kiddos, especially on a cold, foggy day. Bring them inside, let them check out the snowplow, and we'll show you around a few more spots coming up on the other side of this break on Good Day. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Sure, thank you.
And good day, Sacramento. I'm Dina Kupfer here in Old Sacramento at the California State Railroad Museum. This is one of my favorite places to visit, especially this time of year, because what you are seeing next to me is the old historic rotary snowplow. And this thing was a workhorse all the way up into the early 2000s, but it was built in the late 1800s. So we have Debbie here with us to talk more about just the history of this incredible piece of machine. So for people who didn't see, when was this built and when did it finally go out of commission?
This particular one was built in 1920 and it was retired in 2004.
Okay, so 1920 to 2004. So let's talk about getting over the Sierra in the snow in the 1900s. Not an easy feat for anyone, especially those traveling by rail. And you actually worked on an exhibit talking about the San Francisco train that ended up getting stuck. So let's talk about that story.
Yeah, I know. It's quite a story.
Yes.
Way back in 1952, the name of the train was the City of San Francisco. 226 passengers and crew got stuck at right around Yuba Pass, so not far from where the Donner Party got stuck, which didn't make people feel very happy, very comfortable.
I'm sure. Not very comfortable. Yeah.
They were stranded for 3 days, and it was a blizzard that was happening. So what happened is that other trains were going through. They had the all clear, but the train, an avalanche or a landslide happened, and then the train couldn't get through. So it was stuck.
Okay.
With all these people on the train.
With all those people, imagine in the 1950s, and you are in there. You said they were pulling the curtains off of their train, trying to stay warm. I mean, anything that they could, right?
Yep. Yeah, because it was a blizzard that was happening, and there was one medical emergency, so a doctor had to take a dog sled up there to get to the passengers. It was just really difficult to get through because it was a blizzard.
Okay, so how does this beautiful machine make some sort of a mark in that effort?
Yeah, this particular one was actually one of the 7 rotary snowplows that were sent up there to rescue the passengers.
Wow. Okay, so they needed 7 of these to get through.
They did because they kept getting stuck.
Yes.
That doesn't happen anymore. The problem, and they learned because of this 1952 accident, that once the rotary got up there, it couldn't turn around to go back. So now if you're sending a rotary up there, you're going to have one in the front, you have the power, you have the locomotive and the power modules in there, and then one on the back. So it can actually back out. But back then, that didn't happen, and so they kept getting stuck themselves.
You know, sometimes it's trial by error and just trying to figure it out as you go. Okay, so now you have this beautiful locomotive, or rather the rotary snowplow on display here at the museum. Let's talk about how long it'll be here for. This is so fun for you to share with all the kids that come in
It's
too.
so much fun. We love it. Everybody loves it when they come to the museum. It will be here through the end of March, possibly longer than that.
Okay, wonderful. And a great way to support the California State Railroad Museum. Get a membership, right?
Get a membership. You can come into the museum as much as you want. And we have the Sac Southern Railroad too, so there are free railroad rides with a membership.
Oh, I
so
love it. Okay, it
check
is
into
just
that.
seriously, there are so many amazing things to see. You guys know I love my snow, right? So we had to show off the snowplow. So impressive. I'm 5 feet tall. This thing clearly taller, just barely, but just taller than me. So come out, bring the kids. It's a spectacle. It's so neat, full of history. And yeah, this actually went up and down over the Sierra for decades. How cool is that, you guys?
Can
We'll
you
send it back to
imagine
you.
the kick that thing had?
Yeah.
Shit.
That is crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dina.